Yo, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be showcasing my League of Legends account. Yes, I am actually level 1000, but let's not ask any questions about that. Last season, which was earlier this year, I was Gold 4, but then I climbed to Diamond 4 with a 61% win rate. I honestly think I could have made it even higher if I didn't troll with some of my champions. So I'm a jungle main. Brand is pretty strong this season, so I picked him. As you can see, for my last 5 games, I won 5 in a row. Yeah, obviously I don't win every game, right? Some games are remakes. I entered on Master E. Entered on Nocturne because they banned Brand. I also played a bit of Talia. The first one was good, but the second one couldn't really do much. But yeah, I'm a Brand main. Oh yeah, I need to scroll back up. So I have a 69% win rate on Brand. This is out of 70 games, so this is 48. This is 48 wins and 22 losses, which I think is pretty good. So that's 26 more wins than losses. But yeah, if you keep scrolling down, I'm doing really good on Brand. Before Emerald 4, I would get MVP like every game, right? You see this? Or before Emerald 2, I mean. So Emerald 2 is when it starts to get really tricky, I think. But yeah, before Emerald 4, this is just like manslaughter. Like every game is actually just so easy for me. But yeah, I get like MVP every game. I kind of trolled by playing like Olaf, Jax, Ornn, and like a bunch of top laners. I was kind of just grinding for Mastery 7, but yeah. I played too much of those champions, so I could have got a higher win rate if I didn't troll like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about my diamond. I think I'm going to climb to Master next season. Alright, so let's go to my actual account. So here's my mastery score. The max is like 1100 something, but I'm actually really close because if you look in my inventory, I have like a bunch of mastery 7s waiting to be unlocked. So yeah, here's all my mastery 7s. I have almost every champion. Here's my champions. But before we do that, let me show you the masteries that I do have and the mastery type you have to have. So let's go to all champions and champion mastery. So I have all of these champions mastery 7 over here. And then a bunch of mastery 6, which I'm about to unlock in this video. And then there's very few champs I don't have mastery 7 on. There's Gragas, Sivir, Neeko, Bard, Jinx, Vel'Koz, Zoe, Xayah, Lucian, Kalista, Kai'Sa, Seraphine, Anivia, Azir, Zeri, and Hwei. I've not played Hwei at all this season. He's just kind of not really my thing, I guess. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to unlocking these champions. So we're going to start off with Aatrox. I think this champion does take a decent amount of skill. He is a champ that you have to play a lot, in my opinion. Like if you stop playing Aatrox for a while and get back into him, you're probably not going to do very well, because I think he's a champ you have to play very consistently because his skill shot is just so unique. So yeah, that's my opinion on him. Ahri, nah, this champ is really easy. She's kind of like a macro champ, right? I'd recommend Ahri for those who are newer to the game. Akshan, he's pretty difficult. Like he's OP because he has a revive thing, right? But I think everything in his kit is pretty balanced. I know he is a hard lane bully early, but he doesn't have that much range late game, so you have to play him very well. Okay, let's pretend he doesn't have the revive passive. You have to play him very well late game. You have to position very good. I know he has his hook, but you can easily cancel it by like getting on top of him and whatever. Aphelios, this is a very misunderstood champ in my opinion. He is you have to do a lot of research on him, and there's 10 different weapon combinations, right? Like only one weapon combination is bad, and that's Gravitum, Crescendum, the purple and the white. That's the only bad weapon combination that's not very viable. But with Aphelios, you kind of have to, like, if you say that all 9 weapon combinations are like the best at one given time, that's completely wrong. Like, you have to do a lot of planning and thinking ahead when you play that champ. Anyway, Ashe, yeah, she's pretty easy. There's not really much to say about her. I played her ADC, by the way, not support. Alright, Aurelion Sol. I played him before the rework. Yeah, he was like the least fun champ in the entire game. But yeah, he's a lot better now. I mean, he's cool, but yeah, his gameplay is not the greatest, I think. Bel'Veth, this champ is very high skill cap, I would say, but very low skill floor. Braum, not much to say about him. It's pretty straightforward kit. He's really easy. Alright, Briar, one of the newer champions. This champ is extremely easy. I would recommend Briar to newer players. You kind of just have to know how her kit works, and you can just pick her up easily. Caitlyn has a very high skill cap for sure. She has a lot of combos, like her EQW combo. You can do it very fast, and you can do a lot of animation cancels and whatever. Pay attention to your traps, your trap placement, whatever, stuff like that. Cassiopeia, she is pretty difficult. I think if you practice Cassio enough, she's not that bad. She can be smart with your ground and stuff. It's kind of like a knowledge thing, like know what you can and can't ground and stuff. Another thing to know is when Katarina is ulting or when Garen's pressing E, you can just press E on them. I'm pretty sure it stuns them every time. Corki, this is my latest Mastery 7, by the way. Corki is really easy, I think. He's mechanically very easy. You don't have to do that much kiting, especially since you have W. Well, you do have to do a bit of kiting, but yeah, he's really not that bad. Only thing is use your package during objectives, right? You have to use your package smart because it only lasts a minute when you pick it up. So it can go to complete waste and you have to wait 5 minutes again. Draven, definitely one of the hardest champs in the game. There's like no doubt about it. You have to play him a lot. Like you need a lot of experience on him. Like if you have enough attack speed on Draven, you can juggle up to 3 axes, right? I'm pretty sure like all the Draven mains done that, but yeah. Elise is pretty easy champ. I'm not entirely sure why people say this champ is difficult. You kind of just do the same combo every time. It's like, you know, stun, W, Q, R, Q, W, and then just like rappel out or whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do on Elise, right? But usually it's the same combo every time. You start with stun and then you just kind of work off from there. And for repel, a trick you can do is Alt E, and then you won't target anything, and then you can target something like 2 seconds later if you want. I think a lot of Elise players don't know about that trick, and they accidentally repel into something they don't want to. Ezreal, definitely pretty... Honestly, right now, Ezreal's really OP that's patched, so... I played him when he's really strong, so... He's not the hardest champ right now, but if he's weaker, then yeah, he's very difficult. Fiora, I kind of underestimated this champ. Okay, Fiora is extremely broken, right? She has one of the most overloaded kits in the entire game. But she does take a lot of skill to play, especially in the higher elos, where people know how to exploit her and whatever. You know, go next to a wall so you can't hit your vitals that well. Even if you are next to walls, Fiora can kind of Q you still. Like, she can Q towards the wall and still hit your vital, even if you're hugging the wall. But, you know, she doesn't have, like, an infinite amount of Qs, even though it kind of feels like it. Galileo, I think, this champ's pretty easy, yeah. You kind of just... A lot of times you start W. I like to go Ghost on Galileo, Ghost Flash. So a lot of times you Ghost in, hold W, taunt them, and then QE, and then auto. That's pretty much your main combo. Obviously you can start with E, but it's a lot weirder because if you start E, then you have to hold W, and it takes a really long time. Gangplank, I think Gangplank is the hardest champ in the game. I'm really bad with him. You need a lot of practice with the barrels. I cannot do the Phantom barrel for the life of me. I've literally only done it once in like a normal game. I would never ever play this champion ranked. He's way too difficult. Gnar, I think Riot August, he said that Gnar is a failure of a champion. I do agree. His only time where he's useful in Team Fights is his big form, right? And he can't even control it that well. If he goes into a fight with his small form, he needs so much time to stack up his rage. And yeah, he's really killable in his small form, so he's just completely a failure of a champion. And even if you do get your big form, like 9 out of 10 times you need your flash to do anything. So yeah, he's really not that good. Graves, he's extremely broken right now. I do think Graves is definitely a higher skill cap champion. You can be very efficient with your clear. There's a huge difference between bad Graves and a good Graves. Yeah, you need to do a lot of positioning with your clear and stuff. He also invades a lot, so that's something you need to try to practice. A lot of farming junglers, like me, I play Brand. You shouldn't invade his Brand most of the time, I would say. But yeah. Gwen, I think Gwen is pretty difficult. There's a lot of things you have to keep track of. Your Q passive, your W placement, your E, how long it lasts. You know, you can do a short dash with Gwen, so you can do a tiny dash with your E. So yeah, there's a lot of things to pay attention to. Her R, there's 3 casts of it, and you need to look at the timer. Irelia, yeah, definitely up there, pretty difficult champion. I don't know if there's much to say about her. Like, she's pretty straightforward kid. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Ivern, I don't like Ivern's gameplay at all. It's definitely not for everyone, including me. Daisy, she was very buggy when I played her. I think they fixed it, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played her. I haven't played him since all the buffs they gave him. Jin, pretty straightforward, easy champ, good for beginners. Not much to say. Cassante, they remove all his skill expressions, so he's super easy now. If you want to climb, you can definitely play him. He's not that hard. Katarina, this champ is a lot harder than I thought, honestly. It's really hard to get past laning phase. People are like, oh, just roam, but like, if someone's good, they're just gonna push you into tower the entire game. I mean, you could give like 2 waves for like a potential double kill, but sometimes that's not really worth it, especially if you're against like someone who just has a lot of pushing power. Yeah, like it's like impossible to win against like a Yasuo or something. It really is. But yeah, he's gonna take tower super fast. If it's like a Masters or Grandmaster Yasuo, there's really nothing you can do. Kennen is a very strange champ. I think he's very outdated. Like, I like to do a lot of like secret mechanics like Q flash, but you cannot do that on Kennen. You have to flash Q. It feels very like clunky. It's very inconsistent. I don't like Kennen. His R is like the only good thing about him, right? He can't really E into people unless like they don't have much CC or much damage. So he's not really a playmaker without his R for sure. Very R reliant champ. Kled, I don't like his design at all. Oh, I don't have a shard for Kled? Okay, that sucks. But the thing with Kled is each one of his abilities kind of makes you complain about something. Like his Q, it takes a really long time for it to hook back, I would say. His W, it's not an active, it just happens automatically. His E, I don't like the second cast of his E is really weird because you can't really control the direction. It goes towards them, but it's not really consistent. The nice thing about E2 is it goes over walls, which is nice, and same with the R, it can go over walls if you're close enough to them. But yeah, the R is pretty weird as well because it's not going to lock onto them unless it's like pretty close. So a lot of times you have to ult in the middle of the lane, and if they can just hear it, so they probably just walk out of it. So Kled is not too great of a champion, I would say. He's very inconsistent. Wouldn't recommend that champ for climbing unless you really like him. All right, Kog'Maw, another very outdated champ. You can't Q flash or E flash with Kog'Maw, which I really don't like. And his R just kind of feels out of place unless you're playing AP Kog'Maw, which I played. It's okay. LeBlanc, this champ is decently difficult. I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's not too bad. I played LeBlanc after the change where she can CS with Q and then get the mana cost refunded, similar to Annie. So LeBlanc was very easy when I played her, but I'm sure before that change, she was one of the hardest champs to play for sure. I know people complain about CSing a lot, but yeah, I had a lot of stress alleviated because of that change, which was nice. Yeah, if LeBlanc gets her resources, then yeah, she's really strong. I'm pretty sure her win rate's like not bad right now. Lissandra, pretty easy champion. If you need to ult yourself, you can alt and then R to always cast on yourself. I would say like 8 out of 10 times ulting yourself is the better option because you just get more AoE. You get more AoE, you heal. Like, you can control the AoE kind of, because if you ult an enemy, it kind of takes a little bit of time. But if you ult yourself, it's instant, like a Zhonya's. So you can control the AoE better. It also heals you. It also gives you time to think, So I think ulting yourself is usually the better option as Lissandra. Lulu. I mean, obviously, if you're against like a Master Yi or something, then yeah, you want to ult him, but yeah. Lulu is pretty difficult, I would say. I think she's one of the hardest enchanters for sure. There's just so much, I mean, obviously people hate polymorph, right? But as Lulu, you don't always want to use polymorph. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating it a bit, right? But I think Lulu is definitely, you need to use your brain quite a bit. Obviously, yeah, I think never use your E on enemies. That's probably like really troll. The shield's way better. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with her R, right? You can use her R for disrupt, like if Rengar's jumping at you, you need R at a good time. Like maybe for Lulu one tricks it's not too hard, but you know, it's something to think about. Anyway, Malzahar, yeah, there's not much to say about this champion. He's pretty easy. Milio, yeah, not much to say about him either. He's really easy as well. His Q is like Lulu R, where you just knock them back, and it's a lot easier to use. The Fury, this champ is one of the easiest in the game. Yeah, I don't think she's that iconic. All right, Nami, pretty. I think Nami is not too easy as well. With Nami, a lot of times you want to bubble them after you E an ally, so they're slowed. A lot of Namis don't do that, and they kind of just raw Q it. I mean, like, yeah, they always just miss if they shoot Q out by itself. But yeah, a lot of times, like if you're playing Lucian Nami, you want to E Lucian first, and then make him auto, and then Q, so it's a lot easier to hit because the Nami slow is quite a bit. It's quite a bit. Nidalee, yeah, this champ is pretty difficult mechanically, but she just has a lot of range, and you can do a lot with her traps and stuff. So I think in team fights, Nidalee is not that hard to play. She's really not. I played her when Hextech Rocket Bell was meta. I think it might be not Harvester now, but I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think Nidalee is too hard to play in team fights. You kind of just have to poke with Qs. If your team just kind of engages and you don't really have a mark on them, then yeah, you can't really do much. But yeah, if you have a mark on any squishy, you kind of can just burst them and get out a lot of times. So yeah, maybe honestly that was, I don't know, what am I saying? That's probably a really bad take, but I didn't really have too much struggle playing Nidalee. But yeah, the tricky part about Nidalee, I would say, is definitely clearing and also invading. And like tower diving is not too hard with her. Team fighting with her is not that bad. It really just is like the clearing and the invading part, especially before season 13. Like before season 12, she was definitely one of the hardest to play, but they definitely made her a lot easier and they buffed her a lot. So I don't think she's too hard anymore. Neela is very boring champ. I don't like her design. Not much to say about her. Like her only combo is like EQ, and that's really it. Like a Q during her E animation, very similar to Samira. Olaf, not much to say about him. He's really straightforward, super easy champ. Orianna, before the nerfs, she was. I personally think Orianna was the most broken champ in the entire game. I'm not sure why people say Orianna is difficult. I think she's very straightforward and simple. If you need to shield yourself, you press Alt and then E, and then you can press R right after. So she has a lot of counterplays with assassins. Like say Talon, you can Alt E, R, and then QW, and then just like one shot him. Orianna is definitely one of the easiest mages in my opinion. I don't know why people say she's hard. I'd probably say like maybe like a couple years ago, which I didn't play Orianna like a couple years ago, but she's definitely one of the easiest champs to play right now, I would say. There's really just nothing hard about her. Like she has so much cooldown reduction, and she just has no cooldowns. She has W, slows by like 1,000,000. It's really low cooldown too, so yeah, does a lot of damage. Ornn is maybe one of the hardest tanks in the game, I would say. You need to do like a lot of planning, but yeah, you can kind of just rely on your team to carry. His engage is really easy. You know, you just press R on them, and when they're knocked up, you can Q, E, W, whatever, do your autos. But yeah, Kiana is kind of. I don't think she's that difficult. If you know what you're doing as Kiana, if you know your combos and stuff, your QWQ, your EQWQ, weaving in your autos, whatever, it's not too bad. Maybe against like, I've never really played Kiana against like grandmasters or challengers, so maybe I'm like not. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't think she's that difficult. Yeah, honestly, I know her laning phase isn't good, right? But you can kind of just wait until straight Dirk and then go in for the windows. Anyway, Quinn, she is pretty easy. Quinn is, I don't know why people play Vayne top. I think Quinn is way better. Actually, yeah, Vayne is probably better for team fighting. Quinn is not, but Quinn definitely wins a lot more games with her roaming potential. I think Quinn is a lot more consistent. Rakan, yeah, he's OP. There's not really much to say. He's really easy as well. Rek'Sai, this champ is pretty easy. You kind of just do the exact same combo every time, just like Elise. I know Elise and Rek'Sai have 2 forms, but you literally just do the same combo every single time. With Rek'Sai, you burrow, auto, Q, 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 E, and then... Oh yeah, when you're burrowed, you Q first, and then auto, Q, 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 E, and then auto a few times and finish off with all, right? It's the same combo every single time. There's like no variation to it. Alright, Rel, I played her after the rework. She is not that fun, pretty OP, consistent, not much to say. Renekton, you have to play very well, for sure. Yeah, you just have to play Renekton very smart. You use your abilities very well. His W and his E have very, very long cooldowns. You have to use them wisely. Sometimes it's hard to know which empowered ability to use. Like if you need to use the armor shred, if you need to use the heal, you need to use the empowered stun, you know. He's not that easy, I would say. Rengar, yeah, he's one of the hardest champs, I have to say. Like, I hate Rengar. Like, if he's ahead, he just one-shots you. It's super annoying. People think, like, he's no skill, whatever, but he's pretty hard. Rumble, yeah, one of the easiest champs ever. He's, like, OP. Samira's not that hard. If you know your combos, it's not that bad. Auto W, EQ, auto, R, not too bad. Sejuani, yeah, not much to say about Sejuani, easy champ. Senna, aka Senna, not too bad, pretty easy. A lot of times on Senna, I think starting Q is better because it's literally just a point and click slow. Like Senna's Q is actually so freaking broken, where you literally just point and click on them with your Q and it slows them by like 50%. So a lot of times I like to start Q and then auto, and then you just get a free stack. I don't think auto Q is good. I think Q auto is a lot better, especially since you slow them and like you can, like while they're slowed, you can auto and just run away with your massive range. Sion, he is very high skill cap for sure. As Bao says, he's probably like the worst champ in the game right now. I 100% agree with that. I don't think he's very good at all. Silas, he's broken right now. I did not play Silas when he was broken. Maybe I did. I played Silas jungle, the Dark Harvest Night Harvester build, so yeah, maybe he was OP when I played him, but he's really not that bad at all. She didn't know everyone's ulties. You can be smart with Silas combos for sure, but you kind of have to get creative with it. It really depends on the situation. But yeah, Silas is like medium difficulty for me. Syndra, she is OP, as we all know. Her laning phase is pretty straightforward. You kind of just farm. You can bully some matchups, not all the matchups obviously, but yeah, you kind of just bully them off. Yeah, you bully off, like, yeah, honestly Syndra definitely wins most lanes for sure, but yeah, her main purpose is to scale to like she just one-shots you after one item. It's crazy. Kind of like when Veigar was OP. I should just get Ludens or Leandra or something and just one-shots you from a screen away. That's how the champion works. Tahm Kench, this champion is awful. Like, I won't even lie to you. I think Tahm Kench is one of the worst champs in the game. There's only like one high elo Tahm Kench player, right? He's just such an inconsistent champ. He's awful. Talia, I remember saying Talia. Everyone used to say Talia was like one of the hardest champs in the game, but I definitely don't feel that way. Probably because I didn't play her back then, but she feels very easy to play nowadays. Her kit's pretty straightforward. I know there's like a lot of quality of life changes with her. Anyway, Talon. I think Talon's one of the hardest assassins. Call me bad if you want, but I think there's just so much stuff you have to think about during a team fight. Like how much passive stacks you have on people. Where your W's gonna, where your W2 is gonna go, where your R blades are gonna go. It's just a lot of stuff you have to think about in my opinion. But maybe I'm bad. Alright, Tristana, pretty easy champion. There's definitely a lot of stuff you can do on her, like place your bomb while you're in midair. Like you can like W and like EQ, like place your bomb and then like R them away while you're in midair, and then auto them again while they're in their R, and then you can kill them like that. So there's just a lot of stuff you can do on her, but she's not too bad, yeah. Alright, Twisted Fate. I played Twisted Fate when he was like one of the worst champs in the game. Now he's like debatably OP. He does way too much damage with his blue card. I don't know why they buff that. He literally one-shots people. It's not okay for the game. Nerf TF Riot. Twitch, yeah, you need good positioning on Twitch for sure. He's kind of a champion. He's literally just raw numbers, right? His W slow barely does anything, so you have to position very well with him and, play him a lot. Varus, on the other hand, yeah, you can kind of be a noob at Varus and do well, because his R is like one of the strongest abilities in the game for sure. His E is just free anti-heal, which is really nice. It can be very punishing to miss your Q though, especially with your W, right? And if they interrupt it somehow, it's just really annoying because it puts on like a 10-second cooldown. Alright, next is Veigar. Veigar, not much to say about him. He's really easy. There's really not much you can do on him. Viego, yeah, this champ is really easy. Like, if you know how to play every champ in the game, then he's really not that bad. But I mean, okay, you can't say that knowing how to play every champ in the game is like skill, right? Like, I don't know if that's skill. That's kind of just like knowledge. Like, if you know what every champ does, you can kind of pick them up on like a basic level. So yeah, Veigar's not that bad. Like Victor, yeah, this champ's pretty easy. I don't know anyone who says Victor's hard. Like, I really don't know anyone. Vlad, on the other hand, is his E. I'm pretty sure his E does not go through minions, so you have to position around that. You kind of have to use your W well-ish. His R is very overpowered in my opinion. You literally like his R is literally a point and click. It's like MFE, and it does a lot of damage. It heals him. Like, the only tricky part about Vladimir, in my opinion, is like EW and then flash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you EW and then you flash to them, and then release the E. That's like, a lot of times I have to use my thumb, right? That's like 3 different keys. Like, I like, yeah, so I EW and then flash and then release E. That's like 3 buttons I have to press, which is, not that easy, I would say. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm ranting about right now. But yeah, Vlad, I don't think he's that easy. Vlad's not too easy. Wouldn't recommend to beginners. You also have to farm very well with him. I think farming on him feels very awkward sometimes, so I wouldn't recommend him. Alright, Yasuo and Yone. Yasuo is, in my opinion, like the second hardest champ in the game. First one being Gangplank. I don't want to talk too much about Yasuo. He's a million combos, we all know. Yone is one of the easiest champs in the game. There's no argument, bro. Yone's also OP, dude. Yone's OP. He's one of the easiest champs in the game. There's just so much stuff that he can do. It's really annoying. A lot of things that Yone players don't know what you can do with Yone is when you have your Q3, you can Q3, miss it, and then flash right on top of them, and it will still land. That's like the most annoying part of Yone. Like, if they're near you at all, you could miss your Q3, flash on top of them, and you'll hit it guaranteed. And there's no counterplay to it. You're always going to get knocked up no matter what if he has Q3 and flash. And, obviously there's also the thing where you can extend your Q3 by like Q3 flashing. That's also like something that's extremely hard to react to. And it just, that champion disgusts me. Anyway, Yorick. This champ is one of the worst champs in the game. There's no doubt. He's like a 47% win rate in Emerald Plus. He just sucks. But he has a 53% win rate in Iron, so he's OP and low elo, guys. All right, Yuumi. I don't want to talk about this champ. Let's move on. Zac. He is really mid champ. He's really annoying, right? Zac is one of the most annoying champs in the game. If you ever played against like a good Zac, or like an AP Zac, and you just get one shot, he's very, very annoying because he has 3 knockups, and you can't build against it. Yeah, if he can literally press R, and his R flash combo is really just deadly, and you just cannot outplay it. If he R flashes on you, then he can just set up everything else. He will R flash on you, spam W on you, and once it's over, he'll like press Q and then like Q someone else and then E. And yeah, it is really annoying. Ziggs, not much to say about this champion. Very straightforward. I played him. I think I played him mid lane and APC. He's definitely a lot better APC. Mid lane, he's not too strong because he has to use his abilities to clear the wave, right? But his tower taking potential is also very deadly. Zillion, I think Zillion is one of the hardest supports in the game. A lot of stuff you have to pay, a lot of stuff you have to pay attention to. Like people say he's OP, but he's really not. Like he's OP if the entire enemy team is immobile, which is like only like literally like 60% of the champs in this game have some kind of mobility. So I think Zillion is just very not that great. Obviously, he's good if you have like a Hecarim on your team. Like if you have a Hecarim on your team and the entire enemy team is very immobile, then yeah, he's gonna be OP because he can land his bombs and whatever. But if he misses one of his bombs, then like he doesn't have any stun. And if they have mobility, then even if he uses E, they're really not gonna do anything. So, and all he has is his revive. You know what I mean? Like Zillion is just not that great in a lot of team comps. Anyway, finally Zyra. Not much to say about this champion. I really like how you can E flash on her. That's like a new change I did. You can E flash to reposition. But yeah, when you shoot out your E or your Q, you kind of just spam plants on it. She's really not that hard. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Zyra. Not that great of a. She's actually pretty good. I think her win rate's pretty high. I don't know. Like I would never play Zyra in ranked, but I can see her like I can see people climbing with her. She's not that bad. But yeah, she's straightforward. I don't know. Wouldn't really recommend her. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really know what this video was. I was just showcasing my account, I guess. Alright, that's it for now. See you guys.